Welcome back. Well, job creation and the outsourcing of services by government departments and municipalities featured prominently in questions raised by MPs to Deputy President Kgalema Motlanthe in the National Council of Provinces. The Chief Whip of the NCOP, Ms. Nosipho Ntwanambi, wanted to know whether government has conducted an audit of the total number of persons who form part of the men on the side of the road, waiting in hope for a contractor, homeowners, or anyone who can offer employment. She wanted to know whether there are any programs that are targeted at providing work opportunities and whether government is encouraging provinces and companies to recruit them into the labour market.
Honourable Member, if we accept that the man on the side of the road is used here as a metaphor for the large number of unskilled and semi-skilled active job seekers, we can then approach the issue in the context of existing government programs and incentives that seek to support and encourage active work seekers. We can therefore understand that these active job seekers constitute a component of the large number of job seekers that government is capturing on its current database, which now stands at over 2 million. Thus, they are not a unique group that requires a different or special dispensation. Active job seekers are committed and passionate about finding any kind of employment and are not necessarily different from people who on a daily basis scan the papers looking for work. They are thus more likely to find jobs temporarily or long-term and provide for their families whilst they continue to seek permanent employment. The Department of Labour has a national campaign entitled My Job, My Future that was launched in 2012 to encourage work seekers to register with the department and to encourage employers and institutions to register short and long-term employment and learning opportunities. Cabinet has approved a new employment services bill, which, after extensive discussions at NEDLEC over a 2-year period, is currently before the National Assembly. We hope that the passage of this bill into law will be to a large extent address the issue of unemployment. We remain confident that the economy will turn the corner and start creating jobs at a rate which can absorb large numbers of low-skilled workers. This confidence takes into account state interventions designed to stimulate growth and job creation. For example, the Department of Trade and Industry provides a range of incentives to business and the manufacturing sector in particular. In addition, the Cooperatives Incentive Scheme has proved popular with entrepreneurs in the agriculture, agro-processing, and the services sectors, where the jobs created are typically less skill-intensive. These are in addition to job creation opportunities being stimulated by the National Infrastructure Program coordinated by the Presidential Infrastructure Coordinating Commission, chaired by the President, as well as the public employment schemes to which I referred earlier in my reply to Honourable Temba, represented here today by Honourable Jacobs.
Ms. Nosipho Ntwanambi had another question for the Deputy President. She wanted to know what total amount has been spent by government in the past financial year on paying consultants or consulting firms and what was the nature of the work done. Ms. Ntwanambi also wanted to know whether Cabinet is looking at ways of reducing the number of consultants that are being used by government departments.
The General expressed himself on the manner in which consultants are procured, most notably recommending that procurement processes need to be transparent and that the expected outcomes and deliverables of the service being provided be clearly defined at the outset. The Auditor General further expressed the need for contracted service providers to be managed according to the parameters defined by the contractual agreement. Furthermore, the measures proposed by the Department of Public Service and Administration regarding the performance management of senior managers will in part help this situation, whereby the use of consultants will be more stringently managed. In addition, National Treasury's ongoing work on improving supply chain management will also assist in this regard. Honorable members, notwithstanding these measures, as well as government's commitment to improving the capability of the civil service, there will always be a need to contract service providers with specialized skills and expertise. Service providers are contracted to perform specific services whenever there is a need for such services. Such services are usually time-bound with clear terms of reference and defined deliverables, and, as mentioned earlier, needs to be more stringently managed.
Sometimes the consultants employ other consultants. So you've got consultants advising the consultants, and it's become a multi-million rand business. Now, the consultants were originally, if I recall correctly, was there, you've got to have consultants in certain instances because the municipality or department hasn't got the capacity, skills, training, cadre deployment, whatever you can call it. But now, these skills were supposed to be transferred over a period of time so that they do training there, and then there's no longer need for consultants. Now, wouldn't one of the solutions to the problem to be you can employ consultants for 2 years, but thereafter those consultants must make sure that they've transferred the necessary skills. The consultants sometimes don't want to transfer those skills because they would be out of a job, so they just carry on ad infinitum. Could the Deputy President please illuminate on that?
Indeed, part of the rationale of outsourcing some work to consultants is to ensure that it enables the organization or department to build its own capacity and enhance it. And so skills transfer is normally part of it. But of course, if the department lacks capacity to even manage that and hold them to their contractual obligations, they would then take advantage. And that is why the Auditor General expressed himself quite firmly in this regard. And the Department of Public Service and Administration is alive to this particular challenge and will take steps to ensure that the departments are not taken advantage of here. Thank you.
Oh, it's time for a break. When we return, we'll bring you members' statements in the National Assembly. Stay tuned.